because there are so many crypto projects. I'm going to go on a rant here, but there's so many crypto projects in the DeFi space that are just shit. Like they're just these rebase tokens that rebase out of control. And it's a shit coin with no utility, no function. It's just a pump and dump. And the longer you're in there, the longer you are going to be exit liquidity for the people who got in on the pre-list or like the whitelist, right? So this is a protocol. This is a project that is planning for the long-term future. They have a legit tool, right? They actually have a service that they are earning revenue off of, that they're partnering with other protocols, that is bringing more attention to them as well. There's a lot of things in place here that I feel like this is still incredibly undervalued. What's up guys, Ross here with the DGen Project. Welcome back to another video. Today's video, I've got a project that I'm really excited to talk about. I've really been diving into the white paper over the last few weeks. I've actually kind of bought into this token, I've been staking it, and I've just been really kind of getting into their whole ecosystem to really understand what's going on and spending a lot of time just kind of reading through and just really getting a good grasp on this. And so today I wanted to spend some time going through this whole project, the protocol with you guys, go through the white paper, and then show you how you can actually get involved as well if it's something you're looking at investing into. Now, again, as always, not a financial advisor. I'm just purely a crypto degenerate, just trying to make some money in the DeFi space. So now that being said, if you enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you like it, hit the like button down below, subscribe, ring the notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever I put out my new videos. So the project that I want to talk to you guys today, I'm going to pull it up on screen here, is called Equitable Growth Opportunities. So I've got their website pulled up here, and we'll quickly go through a little bit of information here, but most of it is on the white paper where we'll spend some time going through it because there's a lot of things that I kind of want to break down and try and simplify for a lot of people. So we have the tokenomics here on their website, kind of breaks down the total supply, 1 billion tokens total, max 50 million per wallet. And there's also cooldown for the sales as well. There's staking rewards, so 2.5% APR for a 7-day period is the one that's currently live right now. They have 2 other staking timelines that are not currently live, as you can tell by the red dots. They have a roadmap here, so they've got a lot of stuff kind of that they're working on currently, moving forward into the 3rd quarter and 4th quarter. As well, they have something that's really interesting, become a bank within the metaverse. I don't know exactly what that's going to entail, but I'm extremely curious. And I mean, I could talk about the metaverse for years, but I'm really interested to see what that's going to look like. And then they have a little bit of a blurb about their specialties, some of the education and transparency within the protocol, and they have the market times. So unlike pretty much every other token that I know of in the crypto space, this token only trades during the New York Stock Exchange time. So market opens 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and market closes at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can only buy and sell at certain times of the day, which is kind of cool. It alleviates the need to be a chart junkie, just kind of refreshing the chart every couple hours to see where the token's at, because it's only available to be bought and sold within certain market times, which is very cool. They have the contract address there as well, and then they have some other links to their socials, Twitter, Discord, and their Telegram as well. So now let's pull up the white paper and let's go through this real quick. So Equitable Growth Opportunity is built to provide investments as a service, IaaS. Each transaction contributes to the growth of the ecosystem. I like that instead of the ecosystem, in order to provide passive income while maintaining sustainability. The Eco token will operate solely during New York Stock Exchange hours, weekdays between 9:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern, so you can sleep better at night, knowing that you won't wake up to a crash portfolio. So I kind of like that idea. They're like, yeah, we don't want to be glued to the charts all the time. We don't think you should either. So we're only going to have it tradable on these certain time frames, which is kind of cool. Sucks if you're in Europe, but I mean, hey, whatever, you can kind of adjust for it. So white paper summary. Now I want to spend a little bit of time here because I think what the team did is very cool, and they're very clear and transparent about this. So originally at the beginning of the protocol, I'll summarize this quickly. They basically intended to invest into other passive income protocols, right? Like other noding and things like that in order to generate a return for the protocol. But as market conditions changed, they kind of realized very quickly, like, okay, shit, what do? We obviously can't provide these yields because, as you guys all know, during April, right, the bear market hit, and a lot of noding services and all these different kind of DeFi, protocols, their rewards are just nowhere near what they used to be, right? And so the team kind of found themselves in that position where they're like, okay, we wanted to be able to earn these kind of returns, but now we can't just because of the market conditions. And so as different projects look to grow, and this is kind of like their transition, their pivot, which I think is very, very smart. As different projects look to grow their treasury or create a passive income source for their own protocol, the team at Ego has created an opportunity for other projects to yield a minimum 20% return per month on their investment. Now, quick disclaimer on that, previous results not guaranteed. On future bots performance metrics, the EMTS produced 20 to 30% on average a month in a 6-month back test, right? Forward testing results to follow as we generate live results. So if you guys are familiar at all with like bots doing back testing or like going back and checking like all the parameters and everything, back testing is one thing. Forward testing and actual like live trading is completely different. So yes, you can kind of like follow some patterns, but and trends and things like that, but it doesn't always equal the future results, right? So they do have a disclaimer there that, hey, you know, live testing could yield different results. So far though, from what I've heard, they've done very, very well with their EMTS. And so that's the Ego Management Trading System, right? Basically, it is a service for other projects and other protocols. So if you are just an individual, guess what? You don't get access to this. It's really only reserved for other protocols to help them kind of grow their own treasuries and yield, you know, a return and extra revenue for those protocols and for those projects. So basically the way it works is it's deployed using centralized cryptocurrency exchange API services. So essentially they can set up a bot, they can configure all the parameters, they can use money management strategies, they can do a whole bunch of things, and it basically ties into the API so that the bot is basically directly connected into their accounts on the exchange and can do trades, right? If they're doing futures, if they're doing derivatives, they can kind of do all that stuff based on the bot, just direct connecting into the platform. That's essentially what an API service is. And so depending on the capital provided by the partner for the account, Eagle will receive a percentage of the profits that are generated by the trading bot. So again, it's like, it's a large account. Maybe if there's a large investment by a project, the Ego team actually receives a portion of those rewards as basically their service fees, right? So the percentage of the profits that are allocated to Ego will provide the revenue for staking pools and divided accordingly amongst different sectors of the protocol. As the funds in the trading account continue to grow, the more self-sustaining Ego will become, right? So as they're earning more, they're basically putting it back into the protocol. They're trying to really build up that vault and build up their value base so that they can continue to sustain the rewards to the holders, right? Now, let's break down the staking and community privileges, right? So staking times and rewards kind of goes like this. So the first staking option that is available is 7 days for 2.5% APR. 2.5% APR is kind of a misnomer there. It's actually 7 days. You earn the 2.5% after the 7-day period, right? And then the next staking period is 30 days for 15% for those 30 days. And the third one is 90-day staking for 30% monthly. So you're actually getting 90% total at the end of those 90 days. Again, 30 days for 15, 7 days for 2.5% for those staking periods allotted. Now, the interesting thing about this, right? So this kind of is fairly straightforward. Again, 7 days for 2.5 is the only one that's currently available. It's on BrewLabs. We'll pull it up in a little bit here. But the way the staking works is it's actually based on the date that the time that you staked. It's essentially like a snapshot of your value, right? So for example, if you're holding X amount of tokens, X amount of Ego tokens, that equals $5,000, right? If the token doubles during the 7-day period, you only get the 2.5% based on the $5,000 value that you had initially. So at the end of the 7 days, you only got 2.5% on that 5,000, regardless if the token goes up or down. So it's kind of interesting in the fact that as you're staking, you're basically taking a snapshot. So I've got the chart pulled up here, and I just like looking at the day charts, especially on projects. And again, you guys can see they launched like in April, right in the bear, and they were pretty much like underground for a long time. There was not a lot of volume, right? People were staking, they were growing their tokens, they're just buying more tokens and growing their staking bag. And just recently, they've really started to blast and take off. Now, I kind of started looking at Ego back here, and I wish I had bought back then, but I ended up buying here, which I'm still okay with. But what I noticed was that my first week that I staked, because I bought right around here and staked it immediately, basically, over the 7 days, my staking rewards stayed the same, right? Like I didn't get more. I was like, oh, I'm going to get way more money from the staking. It stayed the same. It was based on the value, like the dollar value of Ego tokens that I had at the time I staked. That was my earning for the first week. Now, since then it's doubled, and of course I did my second week of staking, and my rewards have basically doubled as well. Again, they're reflecting the total token value that you're staking at the point of staking, and that's the percentage that you're earning. So it's kind of interesting because it adds a little bit of gamification to it, right? Because if you're thinking like, okay, well, I want to hold for the 90 days, once the 30-day and 90-day staking periods are available, if you're super bullish on this token, you might not want to lock up your tokens for 90 days, right? Because what happens if the token doubles or triples in value over those 90 days? You're only earning 30% on your initial token value. Now, at the end of the day, 30% ain't bad, right? I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying there's some kind of like a little bit of arbitrage potential there, or a little bit of gamification, trying to kind of like work the numbers and see maybe the week staking is better if the token's on a run and it keeps increasing in value. Maybe you only want to lock it up for a week so that your token value increases by the time that your next staking begins, so that you can earn 2.5% on that new valuation. So it's kind of interesting the way that works. It's something that I just kind of learned recently, and I wanted to show that, and hopefully I kind of broke that down for you guys so it makes a little bit more sense on how the actual rewards are earned. So now moving forward, I want to jump into the tokenomics, and we'll kind of rip through the rest of the white paper, and then we'll kind of show you guys how you can get going if this is something that you want to invest in. Now the tokenomics break down like this. So total supply is 1 billion tokens, max per wallet is 50 million tokens, which is still quite a lot. That's like 5% of total supply, but that's the way it works. And it's on the Binance Smart Chain as well. Token type BEP20, and the ticker is EGO. So the starting price of the token was 0.023 cents. And if we come back to the chart now, we can see that the price is 0.26 cents. So it's literally an 11x since they launched, which is absolutely insane. Like, that is phenomenal, especially considering the bear market, right? Everything is in the shitter. Everything is in turmoil right now. And these guys are banging out an 11x since they launched, which is incredibly impressive. Like, great job on that. Now, the tokens, they do have a buy and sell tax, right? So they have a 10% buy tax and a 15% sell tax. There's a 60-second cooldown that will be in place between each sell transaction. And if there is a third transaction placed 65 seconds after the second sell, then that transaction will incur an extra 20% tax until selling has ceased for 5 minutes. So if there's too high of selling action on the token, it actually goes into a cooldown period, and you can possibly get hammered with an additional sell tax, and that will sit there for 5 minutes as well. So very interesting to kind of like add in a little bit of, mechanisms to really reduce like just people dumping left, right, and center. So quite interesting how that works out. Now, transaction tax breakdown. There is another white paper they had available where they kind of had this breakdown. But again, another thing that I really like about this team, and I didn't really touch on it before, so I really want to drive this in. They had a previous tax breakdown of the 15% sell tax and 10% buy tax, right? On the sell tax, 4% was going to go to the dev team. This is for like developers' salary as well as marketing costs, etc. And then 3% of the buy tax was also going to do the same. But because of market conditions, right? This team is very dynamic. They are adjusting how they're kind of moving this project forward. And I really, really like to see that, especially from like a business perspective, right? Look, if what you're doing isn't working, then you need to adjust, right? They realize that from the very beginning. They're like, look, we're going to do this like noding. We're going to buy nodes. We're going to like, invest in other protocols that are going to earn like big rewards. And that's what we're going to distribute to the protocol. And then the market went to shit. And they're like, okay, well, fuck, we have to adjust, right? So they have adjusted. And even now with the taxation breakdown, they have it here in this other white paper where they basically say 100% of transactions tax is allocated to the investing wallet, right? They do not want to take it and start distributing it and doing all that kind of stuff. They're putting it all into the investment wallet so they can grow that fund. They can grow their balance to have long-term sustainability of the protocol. And that for me as an investor gives me a lot of confidence, showing that, hey, this is a team that is not just trying to like do some crazy pumps and dumps and like, they're here for the short term. They're here for the long term. They're looking at market conditions. They're kind of adjusting how their tokenomics work based on what's going on with the market. And that's something that I absolutely love to see. And I think it's very, very smart of them for doing this. And I think that's why they've had such a huge growth spurt over the last few weeks, is because people are seeing this and they're realizing that, hey, this is a team that is not here for the short term. They're really trying to build something that's going to be long-term sustainable. And they're already onboarding a few clients that are going to be using their EMTS services as well. So absolutely phenomenal. And I think this is really smart. And I think this is really important as well as an investor, because there are so many crypto projects. I'm going to go on a rant here, but there's so many crypto projects in the DeFi space that are just shit. Like, they're just these rebase tokens that rebase out of control. And it's a shit coin with no utility, no function. It's just a pump and dump. And the longer you're in there, the longer you are going to be exit liquidity for the people who got in on the pre-list or like the whitelist, right? So this is a protocol, this is a project that is planning for the long-term future. They have a legit tool, right? They actually have a service that they are earning revenue off of, that they're partnering with other protocols, that is bringing more attention to them as well. There's a lot of things in place here that I feel like this is still incredibly undervalued. Right now, even with the token supply, they're only a $2.6 million market cap on this project. And I think based on the returns that they've been doing so far, I think there is a ton of room for these guys to grow. So very, very excited to see what's to come. This is another thing that is like, this is why I love this project so much, is like the team is doxed, right? They've got themselves out here. They have their Twitter handles. They've got all the information about all the team members on this protocol. And so I really like seeing this. Again, these aren't people just hiding behind, their Discord names or anything like that. These are actually real people. They're putting themselves out there and they're really committed to the success and growth of this project, which I, again, absolutely love to see. So really cool to see this stuff. I think it's fantastic. Now, moving forward, I want to show you guys real quick how you can actually get involved in Ego if you want to. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I just want to walk you guys through the process. So on their website, they have the contract address here, which you can grab. Coming over to PancakeSwap is pretty much the easiest way to buy it. Now, again, if you try to buy this in like the middle of the night, depending where you're located, it's probably not going to go through because, again, it only trades on New York Stock Exchange time. So 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. But basically what you do is when you're looking to buy it, you put in the contract address here. You will see Ego. I already added this, right? Equitable Growth Opportunity. So you add your Ego token and then you can swap. Very straightforward. Now, once you have that, you may want to stake your tokens. So what you're going to do is you're going to head over to BrewLabs and you're going to come under here under Earn and you're going to go to Staking. Now, once you're here, connect your wallet and then depending what network you're on, you probably need to switch it to Binance Smart Chain. You'll see a little prompt, MetaMask saying, hey, do you want to switch to Binance Smart Chain? Go ahead and switch the network. Now that you're on Binance Smart Chain network, you can now search for the pool, Ego, and there we have it. So you can now click into here, and then you can stake your tokens. So it's very straightforward. There's going to be buttons here for you to be able to stake. You obviously have to approve and then stake it. And then at the end of each week, so basically whenever you start staking, 7 days later, you will then have your reward here, which then you can compound. A quick note though, they have mentioned this in the Discord, that to help kind of the sustainability and the growth of Ego in the current kind of market conditions and everything like that, they ask everyone to basically wait 2 weeks before you compound. I actually just found out about this recently. I did stake like twice in a row. So I personally am going to be holding off on next week's rewards, and I'm going to wait for the following week to basically be compounding every 2 weeks as per the request inside of the Discord, to just kind of help support the community and really help the protocol long term. So that's it, guys, though. It's very straightforward to get going. You just head on over to BrewLabs. Again, as always, I'm going to have all the links down below in the bottom of this video. But if this is something that you guys are interested in, I highly recommend jumping into the Discord. It's pretty active there, actually. Not a lot of members. Again, like, I think this is like probably one of the most underrated projects right now because it's so like there's so few people that are in here. And I think they already have like a ton of tokens are already locked up and staked. It's something like 80+%. My numbers could be off there a little bit. Don't call me out on that. But they have a ton of their supply is already locked and staked. So basically, as new people come in and buy, the liquidity pool is not that deep. So the token price could get pretty crazy over the short term and potential long term as well. But again, all the links are going to be down below in this video. Take a look, right? Like, again, learn about this project, do your own due diligence, jump in the Discord, meet the team, talk around. And if something that you're interested in, well, now you've got the instructions on how to get started. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to really try and do a good job of bringing a lot more of these kind of projects that are a little bit undervalued or kind of underrated, that people aren't really on a lot of people's radars, and try and showcase these so you guys can have a real clear understanding of what they're doing and how it all works. So again, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate you like and comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, if you really see this as a long-term project, or if you're going to be getting involved and investing into it. Love to hear you guys' feedback. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that notification bell so you can be updated as I put out more videos like this in the future. So again, Ross with the DGen Project. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.